Hi, welcome to day 19 of Getting to Know Yourself, Da'es Atzmecha. We're actually, if you have the book, we're up to page 116. We've been not so much reading from the book, but every now and then reading from the book. And we're up to purifying the thoughts. We initially explained that a person has a body and a soul. The body is made up of matter, while the soul is an entity of seichel, intellect. When a person feels that he has a body that also happens to have a soul in it, he identifies his location according to his body. Therefore, he claims, when I'm in Tel Aviv and thinking about Yerushalayim, I'm still in Tel Aviv. Since I identify with the body, I determine my location where my body is. But according to the true perspective, that a person is really a soul, that merely has a body as clothing over it, a person is actually where his thoughts are. When in Tel Aviv, thinking about Yerushalayim, his eye is in Yerushalayim, only the body is in Tel Aviv. So it's very clear that a person's thoughts define his location in the truest sense. Therefore, when a person is thinking about doing an evil deed, the thoughts themselves place his true I, that's his soul, in that deed, and he should want to escape. Merely thinking about the crime is tantamount to entering filth, since the crime is filth. Once a person realizes that her thoughts are the I, and one is where her thoughts are, she starts thinking about some injustice that occurred in the world. She'll naturally want to stop thinking about it, because she'll sense the foul odor. In the book Kav HaYashar, this story is told about a chassid who met Eliyahu HaNavi. As they passed by a rotting carcass, the chassid found its odor so unpleasant that he had to hold his nose. Eliyahu wasn't bothered by it, but when they passed a certain man walking with a conceited demeanor, Eliyahu had to hold his nose. The chassid asked, "Why did the master not hold his nose when we walked by the carcass?" Eliyahu explained, "This guy smells worse than the carcass. A carcass only defiles the one who touches it until the evening, but this arrogant person can convey relentless defilement. Just as it is difficult for the body to smell a foul odor from a material object, so it is difficult for a neshama to smell a foul odor. But these odors are not from a carcass. Rather, all evils, whether they are evil attributes, acts, thoughts, are repugnant to the neshama like a foul odor." Now we can understand why it is so harmful to think about negative things. Because thinking about something negative causes a person to take his I or her I and put it in an evil place. It's not that we're being unrealistic and saying, let's not think about negative things because that we're saying they don't exist. They do exist, but contemplating them over and over again will put ourselves into that place of evil. We might know there's injustice and recognize the treachery, but we say, why do I need to read about it every day and place my mind in that crime over and over again? I want to live in a clean and pure world. So what Reb Schwartz says here also is, understandably, this discussion is meant for those who have already mastered the concepts that we brought earlier, meaning first we have to identify with who we really are. Then we have to know what our actions are, what our thoughts are, and what our feelings are, and how they can reveal us or cover us up. Then from that place, we begin to notice, okay, what happens when I'm thinking thoughts that aren't good? Then on page 120, he says there are different kinds of evil thoughts. There are negative thoughts that we have about ourselves. And in earlier talks, we spoke about how to remove negative self-esteem, right? By identifying not with that negative thought, negative action, negative feeling, we begin to realize, okay, I'm not those things. I could choose to do them or not, or if I do them, I have the option of tshuva, but I don't have to identify with them. There are also bad thoughts that come because a person witnesses external events that make an impression on her mind. There are things that a person hears about, and there are possible events that one imagines. She never actually heard or saw them, but the thoughts still come to her. So there are many kinds of negative thoughts that exist. If a person will pay attention to her thoughts for a day or two and notice them and categorize them as positive or negative, she'll begin to be able to divide the negative thoughts into many different categories. Okay, and tomorrow we'll discuss how do we uproot a negative thought. But for now, let's just realize that there are many different kinds, and until now we might not have even been aware that our thought wasn't us, right? That our thoughts aren't us, because some people like myself identified so much with thoughts that we thought they were us. So our job today for the next 24 hours is just to begin to notice the thoughts that we're having, even if you notice one a day or two a day, and notice if they're negative or positive, and take a moment to say to yourself, that's not me. I mean, if it's positive, yeah, hold on to it. Like if it's, I'm feeling close to you, Hashem, I love this person, I see the beauty in this. If it's something that makes you feel like you're revealing yourself, hold on to that. But if it's something, and usually it is, unfortunately, for some reason, our brain, our thoughts are often negative. If it's something negative, just notice it. Don't judge it, but notice it and see which category it is. Is it negative about yourself? Is it negative about others? Just notice. And on this picture over here, I wrote, you become what you believe, because that's what we're just talking about. You put yourself in a place. If we're thinking about negative things all the time, God forbid, then we're putting ourselves in this negative space. If one thinks of themselves as a person who doesn't have any power, then they become powerless. It's just, this is the way it goes. And this is, once we are gaining power because we are gaining this information and learning together to be able to know, okay, what do I do now? How do I take hold of this power and become this person that can bring change to 6 million people just by being me? So thank you so much for listening. And Mirza Hashem will speak more tomorrow.